scored a rushing touchdown. And, not to be outdone, you had a running back who had 11 carries for 66 yards. On the defensive side, you know what? They're playing about as good as they're going to get, Ken. They've only given up like 7 points over the last 2 games. You know, kind of led by Vandenberg and Risty in the sack area, Decker in the interception area, and we can't leave out Mr. Bisbee, who got a tackle for a safety. So they did an excellent game last week. It was an all-around game. All facets were kicking in high gear, and I hope we get another one just like that tonight.
And Stevens coming off a loss to O'Gorman last week, 49-7. Stevens with a record of 2-2 coming into this matchup. Brandon Valley sitting at 2-1. Brandon Valley looking for their 3rd consecutive victory tonight, as Bob just talked about how the Lynx rolled last week.
Okay, I have to just make one correction. We'll get those corrections out of the way.
Go ahead.
The Brandon Valley Lynx are 2-2, Ken.
2-2. I apologize. The Harrisburg game.
We're trying to forget that one. I get that, but anyway, all right, we're good. I'm not going to do that again tonight. So
both teams sitting at 2-2 in the rankings tonight. The preseason, or I shouldn't say the preseason, the weekly media poll sits with Jefferson, and this is 11 AAA. Jefferson sitting at number 1 at 4-0. O'Gorman sitting at 3-1, and they're number 2. Harrisburg is number 3, and they're 3-1. Lincoln at 2-2. They're number 4. Brandon Valley is 2-2, and they're number 5. Stevens is also receiving votes, and they got 3 votes, I believe. Am I correct, Bob?
You're right on the money, Ken.
Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go over our Lynx TV sponsors a little bit here, and we'll just read them off accordingly. Go ahead.
All right, we've got the Lynx Platinum sponsors. We've got Alliance Communications, Coca-Cola Bottling, Midco Communications, Sanford Health, and the Sioux Valley Energy. Our Lynx sponsors are Avera Medical Group, McGreevy and Brandon, First Dakota National Bank, Sanford Brandon Family Medicine and Children's Clinic, Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Our Lynx founding sponsors are Alliance Communications, American Family Insurance Josh Koob Agency, Brandon Ace Hardware, Brandon Lumber Company, the Brandon Pharmacy, Heartland Funeral Home, Sunshine Food Stores, and Today's Family Dentistry. And our Link Pride sponsors are Architecture Incorporated, Brandon Plumbing and Heating, Burren and Gruen Heating and Air Conditioning, First Interstate Bank, Henkel Electronic Materials LLC, Horizon Pet Care, McDonald's, and finally, Michael's Fence. We want to thank all of our sponsors for making this game and all of our games this season possible for all of you folks that are at home, or maybe you're sitting in the crowd here watching the game, but you want to listen to some play-by-play in color. Thanks for making that happen, sponsors.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Bob, with the starters for the Raiders this evening.
Okay, we're going to start with the offensive starters. At quarterback, number 6, Jed Jensen. At receiver, number 7, Julian Scott. Also at receiver, number 1, Beck Morgan Jr. At receiver, number 11, Cale Meisman. At running back, number 35, Peyton Watanowitz. At left tackle, number 63, Curtis Dahl. At left guard, number 58, Oriol Lopez Sr. At center, number 69, Thomas Martinian. At right guard, number 74, Tanner Uten. At right tackle, number 77, Elias Gillen. And at your kicker, number 31, Martin Messmer Jr.
And we'll go over the Brandon Valley starters here quick. Defensively, your 2 safeties are going to be number 29, Jelima, and number 24, Bisbee. Your corners on defense are going to be number 23, Breest, and number 35, Carroll. And we're going to pause right there. We'll bring you back to the starters for Brandon, but we're going to have our national anthem in just a moment.
And all they do for our nation and our local communities. Proper etiquette is to remove all headwear. Face the flag and put your right hand over your heart. Active duty military personnel or veterans not in uniform may salute the flag. Playing our national anthem will be the Brandon Valley Trumpet Line under the direction of Drum Major Kate Meppency. Signing the national anthem this evening is the American Sign Language 2, instructed by Melinda Winter. Sing loud and proud, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Brandon Valley defensive starters. At linebacker, outside linebacker is going to be number 30. That's going to be Bortnum. The other outside linebacker will be number 28. That's going to be Swift. And your middle linebacker tonight, and there's a little bit of a change there. Dowd was the middle linebacker last week and last couple of weeks for Brandon Valley. He's moving down to defensive end. And Skyberg, number 6, is going at middle linebacker tonight for the Lynx defense. The other defensive end is going to be number 4, Vandenberg, with Dowd on the opposite side at defensive end, number 31. Number 57 is going to be Risty, and he's going to be one of your defensive tackles. And number 90 is going to be Parliament, your other defensive tackle. At your Brandon Valley high-powered offense, let's call it that way, Bob, as we've seen from last week, they were going on all cylinders. At running back is going to be number 21, Spears Whitty. And your tight end / fullback, whatever we want to call him, he does a lot of things for the Lynx offense. That's going to be number 44, Nelson. And your quarterback tonight's going to be number 8, Slack. At wide receiver is going to be number 10, Langrock, number 9, Andreessen, and number 5, Bonwell Whitty. At tackle, one tackle, your left tackle is going to be number 72, Poppy. The right tackle is going to be number 63, Feldkamp. Your 2 guards are going to be number 70, Johnson, and number 58, Bunkers. And your center this evening is going to be number 78, Ask. Also, we're going to go over the captains tonight for the Brandon Valley Lynx. In just one moment while I get my sheet ready here. It's going to be number 24. That's going to be Tristan Bisbee. These are the captains this evening for your Lynx. Number 58 is going to be Andrew Bunkers. Number 70 is going to be Isaac Johnson. Number 10, Dylan Langrock. Number 2, Lorenzo Nelson. And rounding out your captains is going to be number 8, Lucas Slack. Homecoming King. Did we get the Queen, Bob?
We did. It was Mr. Conan.
Okay, and the King? Dylan Langrock.
Dylan Langrock.
You'll see him on this field this evening as it's homecoming. It is the 2022 homecoming game. I know this week has been pretty special for my children, even Savannah and Griffin, as in the middle school. They have celebrated all week. You know how they dress up different things every day, and so my wife's been scrambling like wildfire and finding things for them. And
because I'm sure they gave them like weeks of notice for her to tell what those days are, Ken. So why would she need to scramble?
Right. So you talked about, Bob, how Lucas Slack is at passing right now. He's really close to 1,000 yards. and he's got 13 touchdowns. What I see the best, though, is that he's not turning over the ball at a high rate. He only has 3 interceptions.
That's exactly right. He's taken what the defense has given him, and he's making good non-dangerous throws, if you will, and it's avoiding the tip balls, etc.
It looks like Stevens is going to win the toss, and they're going to elect to receive. As normal, it's going to be Haas, number 48, your kicker, and he's a left-footed kicker for the Lynx. Kick return, we'll get the numbers here in just one moment, but I believe that's going to be number 7, and we will get those numbers. Like I said, we do not have those numbers, but that's where Stevens is going to start with the ball. It's in the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. Stevens is going to start with the ball moving right to left on your screen at the 20-yard line.
That was back. Number 7, Ken, is Julian Scott. They're all-everything receiver for them. So he was back, and also back deep was number 4, Corderdoni.
Corderdoni. Okay.
And he is a running back for them as well.
Spread offense for the Raiders as they come out in a shotgun formation. 3 receivers, 2 Jensen's right and 2 to his left. He's looking at the sideline here, and he's going to step back. He's going to pass. He's stepping up into the pocket. Heavy pressure. He's going to find his receiver, and that's going to be number 9. And we're going to get it's going to be incomplete. They're going to call it incomplete as number 9 for the Raiders is going to be
Nash
Sobzak, number 9. Sobzak was the intended receiver. He's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 for Stevens.
Yeah, he kind of went down to try to catch that ball on his knees, and he kind of bobbled it and kind of dropped to the ground before he got it. So that was a good defense. The defense was right on him. It would have been a short gain at best.
Jensen's going to break the huddle. He's got number 3 with him. That's going to be Crossweight, and there's going to be a whistle. I think there's going to be a timeout, early timeout for the Raiders as it goes into 2nd and 10. 6 seconds to go in this ball game. We have our first timeout, Bob.
That is probably not the worst timeout for them, Ken, because they want to make sure that they get some positive yards on this, and they want to make sure that they got the right formations and things set up. You don't want to go into something and give it right to the defense at this end of the field.
I agree. And so what we looked at, so the Stevens Raiders, they're going to come out in a 3-4 defense, and we'll talk about that in a little while when they're on defense. But they do spread the offense, as you can see, with their offense on the field right now. They're going to go out of the shotgun. He's going to have 2 receivers. That's running backs right behind him, which is going to be Wotanowicz and Crossweight. He's going to move Crossweight. They're going to give it to Crossweight, but Crossweight's going to look for the pass out of the running back position. It's going to be incomplete. Heavy pressure by Mr. Vandenberg, number 4, from the defensive end position for the Lynx, brings up a 3rd and 10.
I think the reason for that timeout, Ken, is they were in a spread offense. They got 5 wide receivers out, no protection for the quarterback in the back, and the ends are getting there even with protection there, and they were afraid that the quarterback was not going to have the time to get that ball off.
3rd down and 10 for the Rapid City Stevens Raiders as Wotanowicz is back in the shotgun with your quarterback, Jensen. Dowd looking to blitz from that outside defense, the outside linebacker position, and it's going to be incomplete. It's going to be the 2nd attempt to number 9. That's going to be Sobzak, and it's going to bring up a punting formation for the Raiders. Defensively, Brandon Valley's starting out hot again in this game, as it looks like number 5, the punt returner for the Lynx, is going to be Bonwell Whitty. He's going to step back, low booming kick, but he's going to grab it. No, it's going to be Spears Whitty. I apologize, not Bonwell Whitty back there, and he handles that punt, but he's going to be down at about the 39-yard line. They may spot it at the 40. We'll see. No, it's going to be, well, they're deciding, Bob. I'm waiting for him. There, he finally set the ball down.
He went around and around a couple of times there, Ken, trying to decide. But
he was trying to fool me. I mean, that's what he was doing.
I think he's trying to make you look bad, Ken.
Shotgun formation for the Lynx, moving left to right. That is going to be your senior quarterback, Slack. He's going to work it with the quarterback draw. He's going to pick up about 3 yards. He's going to go out to about the 44-yard line. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 6 for the Lynx.
Gideon Waldrop on the tackle there, middle linebacker. What they're trying to do here, Ken, is to see what those linebackers do on runs and on passes to see if they kind of crowd the deal to support the run, which is kind of what they've been doing the first 4 games here. Look for some passes in the slot, and there's nobody deep, if you can see on that defense, for a pass in the slot.
2nd and 7, and Spears Whitty's going to get the handoff from Slack, and he's going to bowl his way all the way to the 49-yard line. He's going to pick up 6 yards. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1 from the 49-yard line. So far tonight, what we've seen is Brandon Valley early in the first series, they're trying to establish the run.
Yeah, they did, and Waldrop on the tackle there. So they're getting to that 2nd tier with the run game, Ken. That's good for the offense here. That's a good sign to start with.
Slack in the pistol formation. He's got Spears Whitty right to his right, along with Nelson, his fullback. He's going to have 2 receivers to his left. He's going to give it to Spears Whitty, and Spears Whitty's going to pick up the 1st down and moves it across midfield, across the 50, and that's where the Lynx are going to grab that 1st down. 1st down, Lynx.
I tell you what, that Waldrop is going to be a busy man if we continue to be this way, because that's his 3rd tackle there.
So we talked about how Spears Whitty also, he leads the Lynx in rushing with 208 yards on 20 carries. He doesn't have a touchdown yet. Maybe this is the game that he does. Shotgun formation for Slack. He's got Spears Whitty to his left. Spears Whitty goes out for a pass. No, they're going to come back to Andreessen, and it's going to be a minimal gain at most. We'll see where they spot it.
Lucas Canta on the tackle there.
It's going to be no gain for the Lynx. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10, again from the 47. Lynx established in the run. Now what we've seen is a pass here, and the Lynx go for nothing on 1st down. Shotgun formation for Slack. He's got 3 receivers to his left. That's the fullback tight to the formation, and Nelson. 2 receivers to his right. He's going to drop back. He's going to look for a quick passer, and it is overthrown as Langrock was double covered there, and Slack tried to put it on him for the 1st down. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, they decided to go double coverage on Langrock, and it wouldn't surprise me if Andreessen was out on this side too. Seems to be the only receiver out in coverage that they can put 2 people on him to kind of slow that down a bit.
3-4 defense for the Raiders, as they have 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers, maybe a hybrid safety that comes down and plays outside linebacker. Shotgun formation for Slack. He's got Spears Whitty with him. He's going to drop back. 2 receivers to his left. Looks to Langrock again. He's got the 1st down and more. He breaks a tackle. He's going to shove it all the way down to the 30. He's met by about 3 Raiders defenders, but that doesn't matter, and it's a 1st down Lynx.
You know, that was an excellent play. It was kind of slow to develop, but he got himself open, and that Waldrop went way down the field to make that tackle again. He must be a person that's all over the field for them.
From the 29-yard line, the Lynx pick up their 2nd 1st down of this 1st quarter opening series. Shotgun formation for Slack. He's got Spears Whitty as normal in the backfield, right to his right, 2 receivers to his right also. He's going to look to Langrock. No, he's going to come back down, heavy pressure, and he's going to be dropped down at about, they're going to mark it, I say, about the 28-yard line, so that's going to be a gain of 1.
Yeah, Lucas Canta and Waldrop again on the tackle. He really wanted to hit the down or the out to our receiver here, but he was kind of covered. I think they need to do a little more quick hitting on the receivers to get them the ball right away, because if they can break that initial tackle, they're going to be off to the races. Shotgun
formation again with Slack. Is 2nd down and 9 from the 27. He looks at Spears Whitty. No, he's going to go down the field to Andreessen. Touchdown, Lynx! That connection happened 4 times last week, Bob. Slack to number 9, the senior connection. Andreessen with the touchdown, 6-0.
You know, that kind of happens when you're not playing a safety deep to help with coverage, because there's nobody back there. So if they can get a step on the receiver, Slack is just going to loft it up there and let the receiver run underneath it and get it.
Beautiful play action by Slack. He finds Andreessen. Extra point is good from number 48, Haas. 7-0. 7:40 to go in this first quarter. Lynx score on their opening drive.
You know, you couldn't have asked for a better series of plays, Ken, because you established the run. And as soon as you got the run established, brought the linebackers up just a step or two to help with contain there, and that opens up the back end of that for that long, nice pass. And Slack does throw a beautiful pass down the middle of the field.
He does, wide open. Well, Andreessen beat that safety, and he became wide open in the end zone. It was a floater right into the basket of Andreessen. Good for the touchdown. Last week, Nate Andreessen, 7 receptions, 207 yards. 3 touchdowns, not 4. Only 3, Bob. Only 3. You were supposed to correct me on that. But that's phenomenal. 3 touchdowns in the football games, phenomenal. Andreessen starts off the first series with his first one. We'll see if he can match it tonight.
So we've got Corder Dooney and Julian Scott back deep for the Raiders.
Haas is going to be on to kick, number 48 for the Lynx. There's a booming kick. It's going to go into the end zone. It's going to be another touchback. And the Stevens Raiders are going to again start at the 20-yard line. That's a great weapon to have for the Lynx, as Haas is putting it into the end zone, and he doesn't allow any type of special teams to happen for the kickoff return.
You know, that takes away that unknown of getting a long return on those kickoffs. If you can just kick it in the end zone and know that your defense has come out and make them go 80 yards to get a score.
4-3 defense from the Lynx, tight formation for Jensen and his wide receivers. He's going to give it to number 35, the running back for the Raiders. That's going to be Wotanowicz, and he's going to pick up about 3 yards.
So it looks like Gunnar Swift on the tackle.
Stevens moving right to left on your screen. They are in the blue and white. Your Lynx are in the red and black. Tight formation again as there are 4 wide receivers out on that field. They're just really tight to the formation. Shotgun formation, actually a pistol formation. He's going to try to give it to Wotanowicz. He's going to pick up about 5 yards, maybe 6. They're not going to call it a first down, Bob. They're going to move the chains. So 2 consecutive runs for number 35 for the Raiders, Wotanowicz, and that picks up a first down and Stevens' first down of the game.
You know, that the defense is playing nice and tight. They just had a little bit too much on those first couple of plays.
Offensively, Jensen's going to step back. He play action. Heavy pressure from Vandenberg and Dowd. Dowd does bring him down, though, from that defensive end position. It's not going to be a sack, but it's going to be a minimal gain of 1 yard. As you can see, both of those defensive ends, that's a change tonight. Dowd moved, we talked about in pregame, Dowd moved number 31 from the middle linebacker position to defensive end. We already know what Vandenberg, number 4, has been doing from the other defensive end position. That combination so far tonight is working.
Yeah, they did a good job of tripping him up because he had a lot of green in front of him on that run.
Jensen, play action. Looks to his receiver, number 7. That's going to be Scott. He's going to pick up the first down and more. Breaks a couple tackles. He's going to bring it across the 50 as he broke 2 tackles. Lynx could have had him down for a minimal gain, but a beautiful, beautiful block, though, by Morgan there on the sideline also that broke him loose for the first down.
You know, you understand why Jensen likes the receiver, Scott, because once he gets the ball, this yard after catch that he excels at.
Shotgun formation, handoff to Wotanowicz. He's going to gain about 1, maybe 2 yards. It's going to bring up a second down from about the 41-yard line. They're going to mark it at.
Yeah, Gunnar Swift on the tackle again, so he's being very active tonight on the defensive side of the ball. We just need to slow down their run a little bit and make them beat you by the pass.
So 2nd down and 8 from the 41-yard line, just under 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this first quarter. Lynx up 7-0. Shotgun formation for Jensen. He drops back, play action, goes deep. He's going to find Meisman. Meisman, it looks like there may have been a push-off. There's no flag. It's a touchdown, Raiders.
Yeah, that was a good throwing ball. That the only person who's going to catch that one is the receiver on that. They had good coverage, Ken. It was just a nicely thrown ball.
So let's estimate how many fans are here tonight, Bob. The Brandon Valley side. I just want your eyeball estimation. Come on now. You should already have that answer. You're so well prepared. Oh, what do we got? Missed extra point. Lynx are going to keep the lead 7-6.
I would say, Ken, just very much an estimate. There is a lot.
A lot. So after that touchdown, a lot of fans, like you just said a lot, right? I didn't say 300. I said a lot.
A lot, yes.
Okay. There was a lot of booing. I seen maybe a little bit of a push off from number 11 Meisman, but the refs are letting them play, and it was a touchdown.
That I was just going to say that might not be the worst case scenario for the Brandon receivers, because they are big and strong receivers, and if they're going to let them play like that's going to be advantage Brandon coming down this direction when you've got the receivers that they have, which is in Langrock and Andreessen, and then you throw in Nelson, and then you've got the Bonwell Whitties and the of the world that can catch that ball. So they do, after watching all four games this year, Ken, one series a game that they've played, with the exception of the very first game of the year. We'll say the last two when they started playing some of the bigger schools. They had one long play for the deal, but they didn't score a lot of points, and that was their scoring, their deep threat right there.
On to kick for the Stevens Raiders is going to be number 31 Messmer. Back deep for your Lynx, moving left to right, is going to be number 10 Langrock and number 5 Bonwell Whitty. Bonwell Whitty is going to catch it. No, he's going to drop it. He's going to start at about the 10, and he's going to be dropped down at about the 13-yard line. You know, kind of a I'm going to blame it on the sun, because I'm looking at a lot of fans. I'm going to keep on bringing that up tonight, Bob. You said a lot of fans. So all of them are, when they look to the right, from left to right on your screen, they're all shading their eyes. So that's what I'm going to blame that on. Okay.
Are you telling me wrong, Ken, that my assessment of the crowd was incorrect?
No. Shotgun formation for Slack from the 13. He finds Langrock for the second time this evening, and he's not going to pick up the first down, but he's going to pick up a chunk of yards. They're going to mark it at about the side judge is not making up his mind. Well, it's a first down. At first it was short. Now it's a first down. We'll take the first down.
Yeah, the guy in the middle of the field is kind of at the mercy of the people that are standing between us and the field, and I think they kept moving.
We're at the mercy, too, of them.
That we are.
First down, Lynx. 4 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Lynx up 7-6. Shotgun formation for Slack. He's got Spears Whitty to his left and two receivers. He's going to give it to Spears Whitty. Great block by number 58 in Bunkers. He came pulling from that guard position, kicked that defensive end out, and opened it up for the running back, number 21, Spears Whitty, for a gain of 8.
You know, he made an excellent job of, he could either went to the outside or he can cut up field, and he made an excellent choice. But that was a great tackle by Unterbrunner of the Raiders to keep him for only gaining, say, 8.
Shotgun formation, empty formation, no running back with Slack. 3 receivers to his right with Nelson at tight end. 2 to his left. He's going to look to Nelson. No, he doesn't find anything. Heavy pressure. He escapes the pressure. We might have a holding call as we have a yellow flag on the field. Slack picks up a ton of yards. I'd say about 17 yards on that 2nd and 2, but I have a feeling it's going to come back.
I got a feeling you're right. In fact, we've got 2 different flags on the field, so maybe there'll be offsetting penalties. Look, can we be hopeful?
Well, a lot of people think so, Bob. A lot. We're going to see what they call here, as I believe it's going to be holding. It looks like the Lynx are moving their huddle back, and it's going to be number 78. The center ask with a holding, and it's going to bring up from a 2nd down and 2, it's going to be 2nd down and 12.
After a quick assessment, Ken, I think we've got 3,271 here tonight.
271?
3,271.
Wow.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
It was a quick assessment.
Wow. All right.
And the fact that maybe I can get you off of the calling me a lot comment.
2nd down and 18. Slack's going to give it to Spears Whitty up the middle, and he's going to gain about 5 yards. They may call it 6, but it's going to bring up 3rd and long from about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, I think they're going to come up with something good here. If not, you want to pin them back and let your defense do some work here.
3rd down and 13, 2:45 to go. First quarter, 3 receivers to Slack's right and 2 receivers to his left. Spread formation out of the shotgun. 3-4 defense coming from Stevens. Slack looks over the middle, finds Andreessen. He's breaking over the middle, and he is gone. Andreessen for the touchdown over the middle. Lynx 13, Raiders 6.
You know, we talked about this a little bit earlier in the game with the linebackers getting brought up a little bit closer to the line. There's nobody playing deep. If you can hit that slot pattern right on the hashes either way, which is what he did there, there's nobody back there.
5 touchdowns in the last 5 quarters for Andreessen as he picks up his 2nd one of this first quarter in this matchup against the Raiders. Extra point is up, and it's good. 14-6 in this 11 AAA matchup on a beautiful evening here in Brandon, South Dakota. I should say a September evening.
Yes.
Your Lynx sponsors, we're going to go over them real quick for you while we have a break.
All right, we've got Lynx Platinum sponsors. We've got Alliance Communications, Coca-Cola Bottling, Midco Communications, Sanford Health, and Sioux Valley Energy. Our Lynx sponsors are Avera Medical Group, McGreevy, Brandon, First Dakota National Bank, Sanford Brandon Family Medicine and Children's Clinic, and Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Our Lynx founding sponsors are Alliance Communications, American Family Insurance, Josh Koob Agency, Brandon Ace Hardware, Brandon Lumber Company, Brandon Pharmacy, Heartland Funeral Homes, Sunshine Foods, and Today's Family Dentistry. And our pride sponsors are Architecture Incorporated, Brandon Plumbing and Heating, Burin and Gruen Heating and Air Conditioning, First Interstate Bank, Henkel Electronic Materials LLC, Horizon Pet Care, McDonald's, and Michael's Fence.
Hassan to kick for your Lynx. 14-6, and there's that booming kick. It looks like Scott's going to take it at about the 2-yard line. He's going to go up the middle. He's going to break a tackle. He's going to try to push it out to about the 20. No, he's going to be short. He's going to be brought down at about the 16, maybe 17-yard line. We talked about special teams last week, too, how the kick coverage was amazing for the Lynx, and they've started off this first quarter that way also.
Caleb Gary on the tackle. Did a nice job of maintaining his lane to keep the returner from getting to the outside.
Shotgun formation for Jensen. He has Wotanowicz. He already has 1 first down in this game. They may run with him again. They're going to motion Scott back out from the backfield. They're going to give it to Wotanowicz. He's going to be met right in the middle there And I believe that's going to be number 31 for your Lynx, Dowd, from his defensive end position.
Absolutely, and Gunnar Swift was right there with him as well.
It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 9 from the 20. So they gain 1 yard. They started at the 18, or excuse me, the 19. I thought they started at the 17. I said it was the 17. They gave them 2 extra yards, Bob.
Well, they're
My
trying.
point of view. I mean, come on.
We're trying to be nice hosts here.
Okay. Shotgun formation for Jensen. Wotanowicz with him. 2 receivers to his left and right. He's going to play action, roll to his right. He's going to find his receiver, his favorite receiver of the evening. Already has a touchdown, breaks a couple tackles. That's going to be number 11, Meisman. He's going to pick up a 1st down and about 20 yards he picked up on that reception. Like I said, he does have a touchdown already in this quarter. 1st down, Stevens.
Yeah, they're finding ways to get the ball to their playmakers, and they do like the spread offense, and they're making Brandon kind of spread out and not get the condensed coverage on the receivers.
Shotgun formation. Looks like there's a bunch of tight ends on the field. There's not. That's a tight formation from the receivers. 2 receivers to the left and right. Looks like there was movement. They're not going to call it. They're going to give it to Wotanowicz. He's going to pick up about 3 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 7.
Hey, Nate Vandenberg on the tackle. He did a great job of coming down from the left end spot, coming right down the line and getting the running back before he got too much traction.
2nd down and 6. They're going to give him a yard again. They keep on giving him a yard. I said 2nd down and 7. 2nd down and 6 for Stevens. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers to his right and left again. Wotanowicz with the ball. He's going to gain about maybe 1. Yeah, that's what they're going to call. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 5 from the 43.
Hudson Parliament did a nice job of getting through the line and making that stop.
We saw Parliament last week from his defensive tackle position play a big role in that run stuffing last week, Bob. And this 4-3 defense that Coach Christensen has going right now has played phenomenal the last 2 games and so far in this first quarter. There's going to be movement. It looks like number 7, Scott. Bob's talked about him a little bit. He's kind of like their go-to guy. We've seen Meisman, their other go-to wide receiver, but it's going to be a false start, I believe, on the Raiders.
Yeah, the linebackers kind of crashed the line like they were going to go through for a blitz and made them jump a little bit, which is okay. We'll take 5 extra yards, but we shall see. The officials are getting together and trying to make sure that they've got the right call.
We're going to get the call here in just a moment.
Prior snap, false start, offense, number 75, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
They're going to call it on number 75, that one of the tackles for the Raiders. I thought it was on Scott, but Scott was looking at that tackle for movement, and he moved after the tackle. No matter what, it was a false start.
It was, and the good news is that number 75 is not even on the roster, so we can't even point that out for you.
That's why I said the tackle. 3rd down and 9. Raiders, Jensen drops back, heavy pressure, and he's going to escape that pressure, but he's not going to pick up the 1st down. It's going to bring up a 4th down and about 6.
Yeah, they did a good job of Hemi Wertank kind of closed the gap there and didn't allow him to get far enough downfield for the 1st down. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I would assume that they're going to send in the punt team.
And so that's going to do it for our first quarter in this 11 AAA matchup. Both teams coming into this matchup this evening 2-2. We talked about in pregame, Bob, you and I talked about a little bit how these teams kind of went, who's playing tonight in these matchups and where they're sitting. And one thing we talked about was the number 1 and 3 matchup this evening. I'm trying to get my papers right here for you folks. 1 and 3, so we know that Jefferson is sitting at 1 in the polls. They're 4-0, the only undefeated team in 11 AAA. They're hosting Harrisburg this evening. That's a good matchup. Harrisburg's sitting at 3-1, so it's flip side. They actually, you tell me, Bob.
Okay, so Jefferson's playing Mitchell.
There. Well, I'm gonna reset that all. Go ahead.
Okay, and then Harrisburg is playing at Roosevelt at Howard Wood Field. So,
And there's the punt by number 31, Messmer. And Spears Whitty is going to let it bounce all the way down to the 2-yard line. Go ahead, Bob.
and then also Gorman's taking on Lincoln, which may have some implications for the Lynx if they continue in their path in regard to seedings and so forth going forward. But that's going to be an excellent matchup at McEnany Field in Sioux Falls.
So Mitchell coming from Double-A is coming to Jefferson to play the number 1 ranked team in Triple-A this evening. My apologies. Bob grabbed me by the neck and he said, "No, that's not right." I wish you all could see us. Shotgun formation, like shotgun formation out of the end zone for Slack. 3 receivers to his left, and he's going to look for Andreessen again. Great catch, and it's going to be in. Oh, they're going to call it a catch.
Oh, nope. The back judge waved it off.
Back judge saw that he lost the ball. We thought the same thing, Bob.
Yeah.
Side judge calls it a catch. He was overruled by the back judge, incomplete. But we've seen so far this evening, we've seen that deep ball to Andreessen from Slack 3 times already this evening.
Yes, and that wasn't that bad of a throwing ball. He had to go up and get it, but he just came down and his feet weren't in bounds. Oh, or he bobbled it. We've got players right in front of us that we couldn't really tell for certain, but I would stick to the middle between the hashes, Ken.
Spears Whitty right behind Slack. They're going to give it to him. They're going to get out of the end zone. He's going to gain even more yards as he's going to gain out to about the 9, maybe 10-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 10. It's going to bring up a 3rd down in about 4 for your Lynx. They get it out of that end zone, and that was the most important part, is getting it out of the end zone from the offense.
Yep, Brandon's really doing a nice job of establishing the run and saying, you know what, I think my line is better than your line.
3rd down and 4 from the 9-yard line. 11 minutes to go in this first half. Lynx 14, Stevens 6. Spears Whitty gets the handoff from Slack. He's going to be met right away, and he's going to be dropped down for a no gain. That's going to be a punting formation because it's going to bring up 4th down for your Lynx. Your punter is also Slack, I believe. They may switch that up a little bit as Haas is going to be deep for the Lynx now in the end zone in punting formation. Number 4 is back deep for Stevens, but it's going to be a timeout. Brandon Valley, as Coach Siliuson, the special teams coordinator, didn't have one of his guys on, and they were rushing to the field. They didn't have time. Timeout, Lynx.
Yeah, that's one of those places where if you've only got 10 people on the field, you don't want to take a chance because a block here, you all of a sudden you got, I'm not even going to say it, you got one of those unfortunate plays, and all of a sudden Rapid City Stevens would have some momentum, and we do not want to give them that.
So so let's dial it back a little bit to the first game at home, and the Lynx offense really didn't take hold of what they are now. After 4 games, we've seen this offense really, really, really catapult itself up to a high scoring passing offense, Bob.
You know, they certainly have. I think they've kind of identified how they're going to attack folks and who they're going to attack them with. And it's been working.
Beautiful punt from Haas, but even a better return for number 4. That's going to be Doney, and he's going to return it to give Stevens, the Stevens Raiders, great field position. They're going to start with the ball. We'll see where they mark it. And as they're a little late to mark it, there may be a flag. Now that's why they're late, Bob.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Return team for 53. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Rapid City Stevens.
So if you hear us pausing up here, we are waiting for the chains to move because the chains are one of the most important things on this football field, and we look at them a lot. First down was a personal foul on one of the Stevens players. It's going to be first down and 10 from the 44-yard line. Shotgun formation for Jensen, rolls right. He's going to find his receiver number 9, and that's going to be Zobzak. And does he pick up the first down? He does. They're going to move the chains. First down for Stevens.
Breest on the tackle. They got to tighten up the coverage a little bit on those outside receivers. That was just way too easy.
So first down for the Raiders, and they're going to come out with a shotgun formation again. They do spread it all the time. You'll never see Jensen under center. Shotgun formation, rolls left. He's going to find his receiver, Meisman, and it's going to be intercepted. That's going to be number 24, Bisbee, with the interception. He also had an interception last week, I believe, also. We'll check the stats. But that's a huge interception because that flips the field position a little bit. As remember, Stevens had great field position. Personal foul got them, set them back a little bit, Bob, 15 yards. But now Brandon Valley gets the ball back at the 5.
You know, I was watching Bisbee on that one, and it was like a center fielder just waiting for the ball to come down. He was tracking it. He wasn't even watching the receiver. He was just tracking the ball. And last week, Bisbee is the one that's got the tackle for a safety.
That's what it was. Shotgun formation for Slack. He has a running back, Spears Whitty, with him. He's going to give it to Spears Whitty. It's going to be a gain of about 4 yards, maybe 3, as Spears Whitty has taken a hold. Well, actually, they're going to mark it maybe 5 yards.
Yep, 4 or 5, and that was a big hole, Ken. I might have been able to run through that hole there.
So it's going to be second down and 6 from the 9. Shotgun formation for Slack. Spears Whitty with him to his left. He also has his tight end Nelson to his right. One receiver to his right and 2 to his left. Drops back, looks, rolls right, has plenty of time, finds his receiver, and it's going to be a fumble, but Andreessen, we'll see if it was a catch, if they call it a catch. So it looks like it's going to be incomplete. It looked like Andreessen had it, took a couple steps, fumbled, but they're going to call it incomplete. Third down and 6.
Yeah, that was one of those tough plays to call as an official. When do you give it to them and calls it a fumble versus they just didn't have good solid contact on that ball.
So it's going to bring up a third down and 6 from the 9-yard line. Lynx have been pinned back here the last 2 series. We'll see if they can get it out of their own red zone. Shotgun formation. Drops back. Looks to Andreessen. No, they're going to have Langrock wide open, and you could see that the fake came to Andreessen in the flat, and then Slack looked to the middle of the field. Langrock wide open. He catches that ball. That ball's on the money. It's a touchdown.
He's still running.
He's still running. Maybe to the locker room. So it's going to bring up a fourth down for Haas at the punting formation out of his end zone. That's going to be number 4, Dory. He's going to pick it up at about the 42. He's going to break it up over the middle. Finds a seam. He's going to bring it all the way down to about the 25-yard line. And that's where the Stevens Raiders are going to open up with their offense with great field position. They had, like we talked about the last series, Bob, they had great field position last series too, but they went for the end zone to Meisman, Jensen to Meisman. Guess what?
Intercept.
Bisbee was right there. Shotgun formation, pistol formation for Stevens. It looks like the fullback may have moved early. That's going to be number 25, and that's going to be Hansen. It's going to pin the Stevens Raiders back 5 yards. So that's going to be a first down and 15 now from the 30.
Yeah, there was about 3 people that jumped on that particular deal. The receiver down at this end, Meisman, jumped as well. So, yeah, he was trying to do a hard count to get the defensive line to jump and move a little bit, and did it to his own folks.
So penalties have really hurt the Raiders this evening so far in the first half. They have had 20 yards of penalties in the last 2 series, coming off of great field position on both series here.
Yeah, so we need a defensive stop here.
Shotgun formation for Jensen. He has a fullback and a running back right behind him, 2 receivers to his right. Scott in the slot with Meisman, his favorite receiver on the evening, up top. He's going to go to the backside. That's going to be an intended pass to number 1, his wide receiver, Morgan, just off his fingertips. It's going to bring up a second down and 15.
That looked to be Rylan Carroll on the coverage there. You know, he did an excellent job. He tracked him, and at the last second he kind of make a dive and tipped that ball away.
So it's going to bring up a second down and 15 from about the 30-yard line. Shotgun formation, 3 receivers to Jensen's right. He also has his running back to his right, also single receiver. He motions Scott to the backfield, try to swing it out. It looks like a screen pass to Wotanowicz, and there's going to be a flag on the play. We'll see what the flag's all about here.
And we've also got, looks like one of the Lynx is slow to get up, and that's Vandenberg. But he's going to stay in the game. He got up on his own.
We'll see what the penalty is on and who it's on.
Illegal motion. Offense. 2-man motion. 1 did not reset. 5-yard penalty. Remains. Second down.
Second down and 20 now is a legal motion by the Raiders. Like we talked about, penalties for the Raiders so far in this first half. They've had great field position. They had a great screen setup also on that.
You know, they did. And that, I think they had it covered pretty well. But that screen was for a team that rushes and tries to get as much pressure as the Lynx do. That screen is one of those equalizers.
Second down and 20 from the 35. Jensen drops back, steps up. He's going to keep it. He's going to be met by a host of Lynx defenders. He's going to be dropped at about, we'll see, forward progression there. He gains 1. It's going to be third down and 19.
Skyberg on the tackle. Did an excellent job of kind of following the path of the quarterback was taken and following him. When he got to his particular area, he took him out.
Skyberg moving to the middle linebacker position, number 6 for the Lynx as they move down to defensive end. Shotgun formation for Jensen. He has Wotanowicz with him. 2 receivers to his right and left. He looks to Scott underneath. No, he doesn't find it. Heavy pressure from Dowd and Vandenberg. Is that complete, Bob? It is. Great pass from Jensen as he was facing heavy pressure from the 2 defensive ends, and that's going to be a big first down as the Raiders are going to drive the ball all the way down to the 6-yard line. Reception by number 1, Morgan.
You know, Morgan did an excellent job of coming back to the ball. When the quarterback was in trouble, he knew to come back to it to make it a little easier pass.
Inside the red zone for the Raiders. Lynx defense needs to step up here as the red zone tightens everything up, as we know, inside the 20. Shotgun formation for the Raiders. He's got 2 backs with him out of the pistol. It's going to be a quarterback keeper. They're going to sweep with him. They're going to bring it all the way down, across the 5-yard line, bring it down to about the 4, and it's going to be second and goal from the 4.
Carroll on the knockout there did a great job of not allowing him to get around that corner.
So second down and goal from the 4-yard line. This 4-3 defense that Coach Christensen and his staff have. We've seen them stuff the run. Let's see if they can do it now. Shotgun formation from Jensen. Tight formation from his wide receivers. Gives it to his running back, Wotanowicz. He's going to be met by about 3 or 4 Lynx defenders. It's going to bring up 3rd and goal from about the 3.
Gunnar Swift was right there to trip him up. So this is a big play. Do not be surprised if they kind of fake a quarterback draw and try to hit one of the receivers cutting over the middle.
3,271 people in the stands tonight for the Lynx. That's Bob's estimation, are coming to their feet as the defense is trying to hold the Raiders out of the end zone from the 3-yard line. 3rd down. Jensen running back to his right, 2 receivers to his right. He's going to take his 2nd timeout. That's going to be the Raiders' timeout of this first half.
I think the quarterback could see that the play that they had called there, Ken, they had somebody right in those passing lanes to break that up. So that's probably not a bad timeout call there.
6 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. 3 minutes left in the 2nd quarter.
We're going to get you some
14, Sioux Falls Lincoln 0.
scores. So Harrisburg right now is leading in their game 28-0 over Roosevelt, and the the Lincoln. Who are they playing tonight, Bob?
Lincoln's playing OG at home.
O'Gorman is ahead 13-0 over Lincoln. That's your score update so far, as we have a 14-6 ball game. Your Lynx over the Raiders with 5:33 to go. Shotgun formation and 3rd down and goal for the Raiders, moving from left to right of your screen. Jensen, 4 receivers to his right. We don't see that a lot. QB keeper, you called it, Bob. Touchdown. No, they're going to say it's down, as I thought he crossed the line, but the side judge, and we'll take it, he's down at the 1.
He's down at the 1. That was it. That was a good job by the defensive line. You know, they had a lot of people that were out on the right-hand side, a bunch formation.
4th down and goal, all 3,271 people to their feet. And he is stuffed! Completely stuffed by number 57. That's going to be the defensive tackle, Risty.
Yep.
In the backfield, they tried that quarterback keeper again. No good.
You know, it looked like, as I was watching him with my binocular scan, that he kind of bobbled the ball from the handoff from the center and didn't get a good push on it because he didn't have a handle on the ball.
Big defensive stand as your Lynx 3 times stop the Raiders inside about the 5-yard line. Lynx defense comes up big. Shotgun formation. No, Slack's going to be under center. He's got an I formation as Nelson and Spears-Whitty right behind him. They're going to give it to Spears-Whitty. Spears-Whitty's going to gain about 3 yards. Going to bring up a 2nd and 7 from about the 9. From the 4.
Yeah, that was a good hard 4-yard run. A good safe play under center, so he didn't have to worry about a bad snap. And Spears-Whitty just did some good hard running there.
Boy, we've seen some big plays tonight, but I think the biggest play, we can talk about touchdowns all day, but that would have brought the score potentially, if they would have went for 2 with the Raiders scoring, would have been a tie game. Number 57, Risty, from his defensive tackle position, stops him cold.
Yeah, there was a nice run, a quarterback keeper by Slack.
Slack with the quarterback keeper up the middle. It's a pickup of about 4 or 5 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1 from the 10.
I don't see any reason not to do the same play.
I formation behind Slack. He's got 1 receiver actually to his right and left, and Slack's going to keep it. We'll see if he gets it. They're going to move the chains as I see the side judge. And that's going to be a 1st down, Lynx. It's been a kind of a struggle out of this end zone here the last 2 series, but this 3rd series, they are capitalizing on the run. 3:30 to go in the first half.
I'm calling it right now, Ken. Slant pattern to the middle of the field to Andreessen.
Think so. Shotgun formation for Slack, empty formation. You could be right, Bob. The Raiders are in a cover 3 defense. Andreessen's going to break over the middle. No, they're going to go to Langrock. It was a slant call, but it's on the other side of the field as Slack completes it to Langrock. First down, Lynx.
And that all despite a pass interference by the defensive back who was mugging him before the break to the center of the field.
That's going to be a first down for the Lynx with just under 3 minutes to go in this first half. Lynx have 2 timeouts that they can use going into halftime. Shotgun formation from Slack. Play action to Spears-Whitty. He's going to go up top to Nelson, his fullback / tight end / running back / everything. As Nelson, we've seen so many times, throughout this early part of the season, he's a tremendous blocker. He opens up things like in blocking for his running back. He's an added element there, but he can also catch the ball out of the backfield.
And he looks to hit people. He's not running away from anybody.
Slack out of the shotgun, 2nd down and 3 from the 32. 2 receivers to his right and left. Gives it to Spears-Whitty. He's going to break open. He's over the middle. Breaks a tackle. Great move as he crosses the 40 all the way down to the 30. And he's going to drive it down to the 28. What a great move. And even better blocking initially by that offensive line, because I could have ran through it. 3,271 people,
71,
Bob,
yep.
could have ran through that hole too, but I don't know if we all could have made that move at the end of the play where he cut it back at the 40. First down, Lynx.
Yes, that was an excellent cutback towards the middle just to gain some extra yards, and when they got close, he wrapped up and made sure they wasn't going to strip the ball.
Slack out of the shotgun from the 29-yard line. They're moving. Slack out and passes. He's going to go to Bonwell-Whitty, and it is defended really well by number 19, I believe, Bob. 29.
Xander Blodgett.
Xander Blodgett on the coverage, as we've seen Slack go to Andreessen a couple times for touchdowns. Went up top to Langrock also. Now he's trying to go up top to Bonwell-Whitty.
Yeah, he threw it kind of to the inside of the field where the receiver was at. If you were going to make that deal, you needed to throw it to his outside shoulder where the defense couldn't get the hands.
2nd down and 10 from the 29. Spears-Whitty to his right. Low snap. He goes to Spears-Whitty. Great block from Nelson. Spears-Whitty cuts up in the middle, and he's going to gain about, it looks like they're going to say 5 yards, maybe 6. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and manageable from about the 23-yard line. They're going to say 3rd and 4. Minute 25 to go in this first half. Remember, Lynx have 2 timeouts. Raiders have 1 in this first half remaining. Shotgun formation for Slack. 2 receivers to his right. He also has Nelson right in front of him with Spears-Whitty. Drops back. Looks to Langrock. First down and more. No, he's going to be brought down right away. But the most important part, he's going to move the chains. First down, Lynx.
Yes, that was a good, excellent play. It was a down and out. Very safe throw. There's no way the defense is going to stop that. It's not a huge gain, but it did enough for the first down. But it was a very safe throw. And
under a minute to go, Bob, in this first half. Lynx 14-6. Over the Raiders. Lynx driving inside the red zone. First down and 10 from the 16. 45 seconds to go. Slack out of the shotgun, empty formation. 2 receivers to his right, 3 to his left. He's going to roll left. He's going to be met by a host of Raiders. He's going to be sacked right there. Lynx are going to take a timeout with 33 seconds to go.
They just got a lot of pressure. They were able to get it in, and he just didn't have any place to run. They got pressure from both sides of him.
Lynx are going to take their second timeout of the half. 33 seconds to go in this first half. So far, we've seen some big plays from the quarterback position in Slack for the Lynx to Andreessen for the 2 touchdowns, but defensively, We saw kind of that miscue. Great coverage from Breest over there on Meisman, number 11, on that touchdown for the Raiders that Jensen hit on going to your left here. But what a big stop by that Lynx defense here in Mr. Risty coming up on a 4th down, I'd say in a half a yard.
Yeah.
A half yard for the stop.
Yes, it was totally correct there, Ken. Quarterback bobbled the ball. They took a shot. They've got a big offensive line over in Stevens. They go 280, 270, 270, 235, and 235. So it's not like they've got some undersized linemen, but we need to make something happen here. We've only got 33 seconds left in the half.
33 seconds, like Bob said, shotgun formation for Slack. He's going to roll right. Picks up a block from Nelson, and is it going to be complete? No, they're going to say out of bounds. No, they're going to say it's a catch.
But they stay inbounds, so the clock is running.
The clock is running. That's going to bring up a 3rd down. 20 seconds to go. 3rd down, and they can still pick up a 1st down. The clock is winding down. Timeout. Lynx. 14 seconds to go. 3rd down in about 5 from the 11. Lynx can still pick up a 1st down. The most important part, though, is beyond that 1st down, you need to get it in the end zone or bring out number 48, Haas, for a field goal so you make it a 2-score game, Bob. Get points on the board, make it a 2-score game going into halftime.
What I'd like to see them do, Ken, it seemed like they managed to get pressure on the Lynx when they empty the backfield and add another receiver. That seems to be where the quarterback doesn't have any other options other than to get swallowed up by the pressure. So I think they need to leave that running back in there for a little bit of protection.
30-second timeout. Lynx take their last timeout of this first half in this 11 AAA matchup between two teams that are sitting at 2-2, trying to climb above 500 on the season. Slack out of the shotgun, Spears Whitty to his right. He's got 2 receivers to his left. Heavy pressure, steps up in the pocket, has his receiver, and great defense by number 19, I believe. That's going to be Unterbrunner, the safety for the Raiders. Here comes the field goal unit.
I think that's a good move here. As much as we want to go for the touchdown, Ken, I think those extra 3 points could make a difference here. If nothing else, for some confidence and momentum going into the half.
And it makes it a 2-score game instead of a 1-score game. Haas, the left-footed kicker, on from about the 18-yard line. Langrock with the hold, and it is up, and he could have kicked it from the 40. It's good, and the Lynx climb to a 17-6 lead, 2-score lead, and that, like we just talked about, Bob, that is huge going into halftime.
It is, and guess who has the ball coming out of half, Ken?
We do.
We do.
Lynx do.
So this has got the potential to be a 2-score set of points here. Get into half, get the ball back, and get some scores going.
So I just seen this. I think he's probably a college student, don't you think? The guy with the nachos down there that just came from the left to right there.
Yeah, I would think so.
That is the first time in South Dakota I've seen somebody wear a Browns sweatshirt, Cleveland Browns sweatshirt. First time. Have you ever seen it?
No, but it is possible, Ken, that maybe he lost a bet and he had to. I'm just saying.
Sorry,
it's
all
an
Browns fans out there.
It's an option.
I apologize, but you guys did win last night, I think, on Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, they actually won a game, yeah.
Yeah, I had to get that Amazon Prime because every Thursday night NFL game now is on Amazon Prime, so I had to get that. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. Haas with the kick. 4 seconds to go in the half. Pushes it in the end zone. That's an automatic touchback anytime the kick returner falls into the end zone or goes back in the end zone with the kick. And they're going to start it at the 20-yard line. A second went off the clock. 3 seconds to go in this first half.
Well, watch the long passes here, Ken. What do they got to lose? Is to make that long pass and go for something with. They added a second back onto the clock.
They did. I mean, yeah, they did.
Just wanted to point that out.
And Jensen's going to come out with the offense, spread offense like he has all night. He's going to have his 2 receivers to his left and right, 4 wide receivers, with his running back, Wotanowicz, with him, number 35. Drops back. That's going to be Jensen. Heavy pressure. He's going to step up. He's going to find number 9. That's going to be Zobzak. And he's going to pick up about, it looks like 9 yards, but that'll do it for the first half as your Lynx on 3 possessions get points. That's going to be 2 touchdowns from Slack to Andreessen, and the field goal at the end of the half. That puts it at 17-6. And your Lynx marching band, which is we talk about every Friday night that we have the pleasure to do this and privilege to do this, isn't it, Bob? It's amazing.
It is absolutely a privilege to do this.
It is. The Lynx marching band is going to come out at halftime. We're going to bring that to you live. We're going to pause after a little bit here, as I want to point out a little bit that how much the coaching staff for the Lynx. We talked about in week 1, Bob, how let's not get down on this team. I know it wasn't what you wanted on the Pigskin Classic. It wasn't the score that you wanted. You know, the scoreboard didn't look like anything that we wanted. We thought, oh boy. But I've seen so many times with this coaching staff in the years past that if we had a setback earlier in the year, we just keep on getting better as the year goes. And that's coaching staff. That's coaching 101. That's really good coaching.
So, Ken, you've been around football a little while, right?
Yeah.
How many championships have you won in week 1?
0. Right. That's a good point.
It seems to me that you want to be playing your best football at the end of the season when the playoff comes. And you play the regular season to kind of get your placing on where you get to play some of these games. But in the end, you want to be playing your best at the end of the year.
And the defensively, so you got 6 points on the board. We see it, that came off the long pass from Jensen to Meisman there in the first quarter. But the defense as a whole, what have they given up in, we're talking now 10 quarters, Bob. I know you have that written down somewhere in this.
It'd be 13 points.
Okay.
In 10 quarters.
All right. So in offensively, they have really become a juggernaut on offense. But right now we're going to bring you the Brandon Valley Lynx marching band. And stay tuned, sit back, and watch this band because they are amazing.
Brandon Valley Marching Lynx, you may take the field in exhibition. Valley Marching Lynx. Our halftime performance. Marching Lynx has a rich tradition of excellence. The band has earned numerous awards in the Midwest region and has participated in many prestigious events around the nation. Tomorrow, the band will host 13 bands at the 23rd annual Big Sioux Review. The gates open at 5:30. The first band performs at 6:15. You can see your very own Marching Lynx take the field in exhibition at 9:45 p.m. Tickets can be purchased online or at the gate. As always, you can stay up to date with the latest band news by Trio. Captains this season are Riley Katz, Carmen Moeller, Chloe Mullen, and Shayna Gravino. The team has attended 3 competitions so far this year. They received a second-place overall Grand Champion and 2 first-place overall Grand Champion titles. This team is working hard towards their goals of holding their ESD, Metro, and State Champion titles. We invite all to cheer them on in Aberdeen this year for the state competition. We wish them the best of luck in their competition in Harrisburg tomorrow. Please welcome to the field their 2022 Granville High School dance team. Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen, Granville Valley dance team. Good luck tomorrow in Harrisburg.
And welcome back on channel 226 on Alliance Communications and Lynx TV YouTube. This is Lynx TV. This is Bob Arnold, and I am Ken McEwen, bringing this broadcast to you live. You just watched the Lynx Marching Band put on a great performance at halftime, along with the dance team also doing a great performance also. We're going to read and go over our Lynx TV sponsors because they are the reason we're able to do this for you live this evening.
All right, Ken, our platinum sponsors are Alliance Communications, Coca-Cola Bottling, Midco Communications, Sanford Health, and Sioux Valley Energy. Our anchor sponsors are Avera Medical Group, McGreevy and Brandon, First Dakota National Bank, Sanford Brandon Valley Medicine and Children Clinic, and Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. The founding sponsors, Alliance Communications, American Family Insurance, Josh Koob Agency, Brandon Ace Hardware, Brandon Lumber Company, Brandon Pharmacy, Heartland Funeral Home, Sunshine Food Stores, and Today's Family Dentistry. And our pride sponsors include Architecture Incorporated, Brandon Valley Heating, Burhan and Grewing Heating and Air Conditioning, First Interstate Bank, Henkel Electronics Materials LLC, Horizon Pet Care, McDonald's, and Michael's Fence. Those are our sponsors, Ken.
Yeah, and thank those sponsors. Go out and support those businesses that sponsor us and allow us to bring you these games live. We talked about, Bob, how people can, be anywhere listening to us or watching us or whatever you're doing, but you can be anywhere. I mean, you could be overseas, you could be wherever. I know two folks that are in Freeport, Illinois right now. I don't know if they're in a hotel room or wherever they're at. I know they're watching on a computer. But welcome, Harry and Barb Buck. They're in Freeport, Illinois, I believe on a class reunion or something out there. But they're tuning in, and I'm sure there's other folks around the other states in the United States tuning in, Bob.
I agree with you, Ken. Of those 3,271 that I am sure I counted pretty close there.
That are live here.
Are live right
here. They're
here.
in the stands right now.
But I know some of those folks have reached out to us in the past and said, hey, I like to come to the game, but I put earbuds in because I also like the commentary that comes from this particular show because it just kind of says, that talks about the game and adds some commentary that we might not know. And so they come all the way from Brandon, again, and all the way out to Illinois and whoever knows where. But we appreciate each and every person that's taken the time out of their busy schedule and their busy lives to be a part of this broadcast with us.
And we talked about in the first half, Bob, how the Lynx offense kind of catapulted themselves, especially on that first drive. It came out with a touchdown as Slack, your senior quarterback, hit his senior wide receiver, number 9, Andreessen, for the first touchdown. Came back, and the Raiders from Rapid City Stevens, as Jensen came back with a score from the quarterback position to Mize, number 11, his wide receiver. The third score of the game was it was Slack to Andreessen, but that was for about 74-yard touchdown there over the middle. He broke open, turned on the Jets, touchdown. And your third score of the game came with about 12 seconds to go in the first half as the Lynx were driving, stalled a little bit into the red zone, but they did pick up a field goal from number 48, and that's Haas, and that put it to a 2-score game, Bob.
It did. Now, the one observation, Ken, is that Stevens made an adjustment in pass coverage right towards the later part of the second quarter and right into halftime. It'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments that the Lynx offense make to counterbalance what they were doing to take away some of those shorter mid-range passes between the hash marks.
And you talked about going into halftime, Bob, who gets the ball, and it's the Lynx offense in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be a big possession. Getting that field goal right at the end of the half carries a little momentum into the locker room. Now we need to bring that momentum back here and get a score, get at least a good push down the field put the Stevens Raiders back on their heels a bit.
And hats off to the Brandon Valley defense as they, inside the red zone, as you remember, with about 2 minutes, maybe right around, we'll just say 3 minutes to go in the first half, the Lynx defense came up huge at about the half-yard line to go into the end zone for the Raiders, and number 57, Risty, stuffed the quarterback.
Yeah, he blew through the gap between the center and the guard and knocked them back a bit, which slowed the progression of the quarterback. So that was a great defensive play. And again, not a tiny offensive line that Stevens has. So being able to stop those guys, and the quarterback, who's a pretty good-sized individual himself, he sits at right about 6 foot, 175 pounds, and seems to be a pretty good athlete. Didn't allow him to get off the ball.
And in the pregame, we talked about, Bob, that it was you and I talking before we went live, and we talked about how Jensen, we dissected the film from previous games, and Jensen likes to run the ball, and he hasn't done much of that. He's tried a little bit against this Lynx defense. He's gained quite a few yards on the ground. He's a 3-year starter. We're talking about the quarterback for the Raiders, and in 2021, his passing stats were pretty good. He was sitting at about 1,800 yards, 16 touchdowns, but he also had 300 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. So the Lynx have done a great job bottling him up a little bit and keeping him in the pocket, Bob.
I think when they can kind of watch some film, what the defensive ends are doing is they're getting upfield, not giving that quarterback that path to get out and around, which on film is how he was getting most of his yards, was basically a quarterback keeper around both ends, and the defensive ends are doing a good job of stopping that by getting upfield with some good pressure.
So the Lynx are going to start off with the ball here in this second half, 17-6 in this 11 AAA matchup. Both teams sitting at 2-2, trying to go over 500. Back deep is going to be number 7 for the Lynx, and number 10, Lane Rock. That's going to be number 7. Give me the name on that, Bob.
Joey DeWitt.
Joey DeWitt comes in, and I have that on my call sheet too, as Joey DeWitt was back there instead of Bonwell Whitty or Spears Whitty, so the Lynx change it up a little bit on the kickoff return team. Shotgun formation is going to be first down and 10 for the Lynx from the 20. 3 receivers, 2 slacks right. It's quarterback keeper. He gets a big block from Spears Whitty, but even a better defensive play by number 78 for
Caden Strong.
For the Raiders, Strong, and it's a minimal gain for Slack. It's going to bring up a second down and 9 from the 21.
They're just trying to get the defense to think of something other than the pass. So you got to make them respect the run to get those linebackers to move up a yard or two closer to the line of scrimmage.
3-4 defense from the Raiders. Slack out of the shotgun, looks to his receiver, Langrock. He finds him over the middle, and I believe that's going to pick up a first down as they are going to move the chains. First down, Lynx from the 30.
Unterbrunner on the tackle and did a pretty good job of the coverage, and then wrapped him up and brought him down, but not before a Lynx first down.
Langrock so far this evening, number 10, the senior, and he's homecoming king. Remember, we talked about that too, Bob. We cover everything up here.
It is. He's kind of a jack of all trades.
Shotgun formation for Slack. He's going to have Spears Whitty to his right. 2 receivers. That's going to be Andreessen and Langrock to his right also. Drops back. He's going to look to his left. Over the middle. He finds Nelson. It's going to be incomplete as it fell a little bit short of Nelson, and that's going to bring up a second down and 10 from the 30.
Yeah, Unterbrunner on the coverage there. The pass was just a little bit low, but Nelson got his hands on it, but I think it skipped a little bit.
So second down and 10 from the 30-yard line. 10:38 to go, third quarter. Lynx up by 2 scores, 17-6.
Yeah, the Lynx need to get a few yards here to make it a manageable third down.
Shotgun formation, second down and 10 for Slack in the Lynx offense, moving left to right. Two receivers to his right. He has Nelson right in front of him, helping with the blocking. He finds Langrock. Langrock is up to about the 37-yard line. That is a pickup of 8 yards. It's going to be third down and 2. Langrock so far has really been Slack's possession receiver. Let's just call it that.
Yeah.
Underneath, a lot of possession, getting those first downs. Andreessen, number 9, has went deep and caught those deep passes.
He's
from
more of the
Slack.
home run option.
Slack out of the shotgun. It's going to be a pistol formation. He's going to have Nelson up in front of him to the left. I believe it's going to be a timeout. Lynx. They're going to take their first timeout of the second half.
Yeah, I don't think they liked how the formation was coming versus the play call that was being made there.
So explaining that formation a little bit to the folks at home, as you can see, you'll see the Lynx line up like this quite a bit as Nelson, the fullback, kind of tight end, will line up just in front, either left to right of Slack, right behind the offensive line. Kind of, they call it a pistol formation because the running back's kind of staggered behind him, but it's still a shotgun formation. And so the Lynx like to use that. Now watch, just like last week, they kind of snuck in the second half. The Lynx kind of snuck Nelson out into the flats a little bit. Remember that?
Oh, yes,
watch
absolutely.
that coming out of this play action here, because all of a sudden Nelson's going to be coming uncovered. He can go up and fake that block and come uncovered and go out to the flats. Third down and 2 for your Lynx from the 38-yard line. 9:57 to go. Third quarter. Slack out of the shotgun. 3 receivers to his left. Pitches it. It's an option play to Spears-Whitty. Spears-Whitty breaks a big tackle. He is moving. He's loose. He's all the way up to the 39-yard line. Crossing the 50. First down, Lynx.
Hawley on the tackle there, but not before a huge gain. And the part that I was most impressed about there, he didn't rush that run, Ken. He kind of waited and used his blockers, and then when he saw the hole, he exploded through it and got a huge gain.
So the formation on that one, folks, offensively, they had 3 receivers to the right. They went back with the option with Spears-Whitty and Langrock to the right. First down, Spears-Whitty. Slack, Spears-Whitty up the middle. He is breaking it loose again. And he's going to drive the ball all the way down to about the 35-yard line. That's going to bring up a second down and 5.
Yeah, number 5, Bryce Swanson did the tackle there, but that was a great gain on first down. Now you can do just about anything from this particular down and distance.
3rd and 5, they're going to say a gain of 6. So it's going to bring up a second down and 4 from the 35-yard line. Slack with 3 receivers to his right. He has Nelson up above him and Spears-Whitty to his left. Play action. No, they're going to give it to Spears-Whitty. They wanted that end around. Great defense by the Raiders as Slack gives it to Spears-Whitty to the right. Langrock was coming from the wide receiver position, coming from the end around because he was going to get it from Spears-Whitty, change the field to the left, and the Raiders just snuffed that out.
Yeah, they got great penetration that kind of broke that play up.
So that's going to pin the Lynx back 6 yards. 3rd down and 10 from the 41-yard line. 2 receivers to Slack's left. He also has a receiver to his right. Spears-Whitty with him in the backfield. He drops back. He's going to look to Langrock, finds him, and it's going to be a big first down. Great catch at the 30-yard line from Langrock. Anytime Slack has tried to get that first down, it has went to Langrock. First down, Lynx.
Did you see that catch, Ken?
It was great.
One-handed. He actually had to trap it on his hip, and then on the way down, he brought it back in and secured it. That was a fantastic catch.
3rd down from the 31-yard line. Lynx ball, just under 7:40 to go. 3rd quarter, 17-6. Your Lynx over the Raiders. Shotgun formation out of that pistol formation. two receivers to his right. He motions Spears Whitty out of the backfield. He's going to go up to Langrock. It looks like interference. Are they going to call it? They do. As Langrock was fighting for the ball, but he was being held by number 8. And we will get
Madinko
Hawley on the coverage. It's going to be pass interference. That should be an automatic first down for the Lynx.
You know, Ken, they had to call that one because Hawley had to give him back his jersey.
That's pretty true.
Defense, number 8.
But he might have saved a touchdown.
Oh,
that might have been a great play
well, he
by
definitely,
number 8.
He definitely saved a touchdown because there was no defenders behind him. So
Right. So that's going to bring up a first down and 10 from, it looks like they're going to mark it at about the 16-yard line as the Lynx drive into their red zone. Shotgun formation to Slack's right. He has one receiver to his left. Spears Whitty's with him. He's going to give it to Spears Whitty up the middle. It is a dive. He breaks loose. He's going to go up the middle. He's driving all the way to the end zone. Touchdown Lynx. As Spears Whitty, he was given 7 yards, but he got that last 6 on his own, Bob. Touchdown Lynx.
that was a desire run that he says, you know what, I'm getting to the end zone. I believe that might be his first touchdown this year.
I think you're right. He's looking at right now, coming into this game, he had 208 yards on 20 carries. You're right, no touchdowns, and that's going to be Spears Whitty's first touchdown of the season. Haas on for the extra point, and it is good. 24-6, Lynx on top of the Raiders.
You know, that was a good drive to keep the momentum going that they carried into halftime. But more importantly, now they got to start defending that run a little more, which should open up the receivers later in this half.
So what the Lynx have done coming out of halftime, it looked like they wanted to establish the run. And that's what they did on that drive. Spears Whitty gained a ton of yards. We saw that on that option play where he gained about, we'll say upwards around 30 yards on that option play where the formation showed 3 receivers to Slack's left, and they came back with the option to the right with Slack and Spears Whitty first down. They gave it to him a couple more times with the finishing run there from 11 yards away.
He just wasn't going to be denied.
So we have a 24-6 ball game. This 11 AAA matchup. Both teams, like we talked about, both sitting at 2-2. Both teams wanting to go over 500 to climb in the rankings. The Lynx sitting at the number 5 spot in the media rankings going into this ball game. Haas to kick. He's going to try to put it in the end zone, and he does, and that's going to be a touchback. He's done that 3 times this evening, and he's become a special weapon for that offense and special teams for the Lynx is putting on points. He did, Haas, number 48 for the Lynx, a left-footed kicker, put points on the board in the first half, and he's done a great job on the kickoffs. Jensen out of the shotgun, and they're going to spread the receivers 2 by 2, right to left, way wide past the hash marks. And there's a snap, and it's going to be, it looks like false start on number 63.
Curtis Dahl,
the tackle for the Raiders. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. It's going to be first down and 15.
You know, they might have did us a huge favor, Ken. We had 2 receivers down on the end that only had 1 defensive person on them.
I did not see that. That's great observation. And I still have no idea how you came up with 3,271 fans.
You don't think I can count, Ken?
Wow. Shotgun formation. Jensen drops back. Play action. Finds Scott. He is met right away by the defender. We'll get that number for you here in just a moment. But I think it's number 30. That's going to be Bortnum for the Lynx. We do have a Raider down. That was Scott. I think he's going to have to go to the sideline, as that is going to be a loss of about 4 yards. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 14 from the 16. Raiders moving right to left on your screen.
You know, Bortnum is leading the Lynx this year in tackles. So he's in on a lot of tackles. Probably we don't get a chance to see him much, but he's in on a lot of tackles for the Lynx.
From that outside linebacker position, we're talking about Bortnum, number 30. Jensen rolls to his left. He's going to come back to the right. Heavy pressure as the Lynx are trying to swarm on him to get that sack, and he is absolutely met by Vandenberg, number 4 for the Lynx. What an amazing, it was like he got shot by a cannon. He just all of a sudden appeared on the scene.
You know, what made it even worse is I don't think the quarterback saw him coming. He was hearing the steps behind him, and he was watching what's ahead of him, and he just caught him from the side and took him right off his feet there. Quarterback's a little shaken up here a little bit.
That's going to be the 6'2", 205-pound senior, the defensive end, number 4, Nate Vandenberg, with the sack. Brings up a third down in a mile, Bob. We're going to talk about 20 yards here, as I think we're going to have a timeout. Rapid City Stevens, it's going to be their first timeout of the half. Defensively, though, what can you say about this Lynx defense?
You know, they're really came out of the locker room aggressive, wanting to make sure that they beat the person in front of them, and that puts the offense back on their heels a little bit. But on that particular play that Vandenberg just made, folks, Vandenberg plays on the other side of the field. He came all the way across the field and ran down the quarterback and got the sack. That is absolutely incredible desire, a no-quit attitude, and that's what really spurs on your teammates to want to give everything that they've got when they see stuff like that, when you lead it by example.
So the Raiders offense is going to sprint out to the field from the sideline. That's going to be Jensen, the quarterback, as he's going to have a tight formation, 2 receivers to his right and left. He's got his running back also. That's going to be Wotenwitz. Heavy pressure from the Lynx. He drops back, and guess who's there? Nate Vandenberg with the sack and the safety. So the defense scores. It's going to make it a 26-6 ball game.
You know, that was they got excellent pressure, but more importantly, what really made that particular safety is Vandenberg's going to get the credit, but it was the downfield coverage rather, by his teammates that gave the quarterback no place to go. And when he turned around to try to scramble, Vandenberg was right there.
So 26-6 ball game. Lynx defense comes up huge again in this third quarter as they get on the scoreboard, the Lynx defense, and score 2 points.
Yes, that is very big. You know, that's the second game in a row, Ken, that we've got to see a safety by the Lynx defense on that end of the field.
So you talked about the coverage down the field. I'll talk about the defensive end that finished the plays. The senior, the 6'2 senior, Nate Vandenberg, number 4, had 2 sacks on that series, back-to-back plays. What a tremendous, tremendous series. And we've seen him all year in these first 4 games step up defensively and be an impact player. I have scores for you in the 11 AAA here. We have Harrisburg up 28-0 over Roosevelt. O'Gorman 14-7 over Lincoln, and Jefferson is ahead 28-0 in the first quarter over Mitchell. And there's the kick by the Raiders, and it looks like you're going to have number 7, and that's going to be, as let's get that,
Joey DeWitt on the return.
Joey DeWitt.
But we do got a flag on the play, Ken.
Number 7, DeWitt, broke it open over the middle. It was actually a botched punt return. He let it bounce, but he gained a ton of yards. But it's going to be a legal block in the back by the Lynx. So that's going to pin him back, and that's a spot foul, Bob. So that's going to pin him back about the it looks like the 17-yard line, and that's where the Lynx are going to start the offense moving left to right on your screen.
Yeah, that was one of those I got it, you got it type deals, and it went between both players, and they were both going to go up and block. That could have been disaster, but they managed to get the ball back, and now it's 1st and 10 Lynx.
Langrock and Andreessen to Slack's right, split out wide. They're going to give it to Spears-Whitty. Spears-Whitty's going to gain a first down and more on this opening carry of this second series for the Lynx offense in the third quarter. First down, Lynx.
You know, right now, Ken, it's just the Lynx's offensive line versus the front seven, really, of Stevens, and right now they're proving that those 5 are outmanning those 7 right now, and when you can run right up the gut.
Well, defensively, it looks like, you know, the Raiders' defense has been on the field a lot in this ball game, and it's starting to show a little bit from that 3-4 defense. Slack out of the pistol formation, gives it to Spears-Whitty again over the middle. He's going to gain about 3 yards, maybe 3. I think it's 3, Bob. You tell me. You have the binoculars up here.
You're right. I do, and I'll say 3. Well, right now I'd say 4, just because I can be different. But these binoculars do not help me. I'm looking at the stick across the way, and to me it looks like it's about 2nd down and 6.
So 2nd and 6 from the 31-yard line. You are right, Bob. 3 receivers to Slack's right. That is Nelson, the tight end, also. He motions Spears-Whitty to the right. Screen pass to Spears-Whitty. Big block by Nelson. Cuts it up the middle. That's going to be Spears-Whitty. He gains about 2 yards, maybe 3. I keep on saying maybe 3. Maybe 3. Maybe 2. But it's going to be 3rd and 4 anyways from the 33.
Yeah, this is a big play right here, Ken. This is need to be a big first down to make this. They got to come up with something that it'd be maybe a good place for a screen to maybe Nelson.
Lane Rock in the slot formation. Andreessen right to his right. Slack, quarterback keeper, gains a first down and more. He breaks open. He gets it all the way down to the 45, maybe the 46-yard line, but that's going to be the most important part. You talked about this is a big down, but that's going to be a first down Lynx.
That was an excellent play call. Looks to me like it was a quarterback draw all the way, and he got just enough yardage. More importantly, he kept himself safe.
Kept that clock running. Under 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. Lynx up by 20. Slack, Bonwell, Whitty to his left, also with Nelson. He has Spears-Whitty and motion Spears-Whitty to his right. He's going to look for Andreessen down the middle of the field. He's going to be interfered with by number 4. Number 4 for the Raiders is going to be Doney. He saved a touchdown.
He absolutely did. He said he was beat. If he didn't tackle him, basically, that he was giving up a touchdown because he was right there, and he is not going to drop that ball.
Slack's favorite deep ball receiver in Andreessen. He's got 5 touchdowns, all on deep throws in the last 2 games, and they wanted it again, and they gain a chunk of yards. They go over to the 50-yard line, cross midfield, over to the 40 with that penalty. First down Lynx from the 40. Shotgun formation, Spears-Whitty to Slack's left, along with Langrock and Andreessen. Bonwell-Whitty, he gives it to Spears-Whitty. Up the middle, Bonwell-Whitty was out to the outside, number 5, the other wide receiver. They give it to Spears-Whitty up the middle, and that's a big gain on first down. That's an 8-yard gain, brings up 2nd down and 2 from the 32.
You know, they're just imposing their will right now, Ken. When he tackled the Andreessen on the way out there, he just saved his team 20 yards.
Coach Zur, the offensive coordinator for the Lynx, and Coach Christensen, the head coach, have this offense rolling in this second half. They catapulted from that second quarter where they scored 2 times. Spears-Whitty with the carry. Up the middle, first down and more. Brings it up to the 25-yard line, maybe 24, but that's going to be a first down Lynx.
Yeah, he made a great kind of jump, and he kind of jumped to the side to get through the hole, and then he did an excellent job of accelerating to to get that first down.
Hats off to that offensive line as 72 Poppy, the guard, number 70 Johnson, the other guard, Bunkers. We've seen him pull already with a big kick out on the defensive end to break Spears Whitty open. He's a guard, number 58. The other tackle is number 63 Feldkamp, in the center, number 78 Ask. They are your moving company up in front of Slack, and they're doing a great job. Spears Whitty cuts to the outside. He breaks that tackle, and he's going to be brought down on first down, and he's not going to gain a yard. Surprisingly, maybe a yard, maybe a half a yard.
He probably ran about 6 yards to get that half a yard.
Right. Under 1 minute to go, third quarter, as the Lynx on their second series of this second half, I should say, in this 11 AAA matchup between two teams that are 2-2 coming into this contest. Slack, 3 receivers to his right. That is also Nelson. Drops back, looks to Nelson over the middle. No, he finds Lingrock. Lingrock has, I can't tell you how many first downs Lingrock has got, but I bet you at least 4 to 5 in this ball game being Slack's possession receiver, and that's going to bring up a third down in about 5.
Again, I think we're in field goal range here, but I think that they don't have any desire on getting 3 here. I think we might be in 2-down territory here to try to push that lead.
My guess is they're going to let this clock bury itself down to 0 in the third quarter. So that's going to do it for the third quarter, as the fans, all 3,271, come to their feet as the Lynx 26-6 over the Raiders. Now, how I got 3,271 was Bob went to school for visually mathematics. I don't know if that's such a thing, but for you to come up with that number, that's pretty good. I'd really like to know what the real attendance is, because it's packed.
You don't think maybe somebody gave that to me?
Maybe, I don't know.
They didn't, but I'm just saying.
You have an earpiece in your ear or something?
That was a self-preservation attendance number, Ken.
Well, you said all. What did you say first? All the fans?
No, I said a lot.
A lot of fans.
Yes. When you asked me how many was here, and I went out and looked out the window, both directions, all the way down, field all the way across.
Well, then you did it again, Bob, and then you came up with 3,200. I have that written down. You know how I remember that, folks? I have it written down, 3,271. You looked out the window, looked left to right.
And across. Don't forget across.
Oh, you counted those too?
Well, yeah, they're in attendance.
Well, okay. All right. Shotgun formation for Slack in the Lynx offense. Fourth quarter, 26-6. Lynx over the Raiders. Looks to Langrock, finds him over the middle. Touchdown, Lynx! Beautiful, beautiful catch from Langrock as it was a little bit behind him from Slack. He goes back and gets it. Touchdown, 32-6.
Do you remember when we talked earlier in the game, Ken, and I said we got to stick between the hash marks on the deal? The throws are much better, but more importantly, the way the defensive plays, that area, that pocket is open, and that's where they've been hitting those.
So in that 3-4 defense, maybe they brought a couple of linebackers on that third down play, pressure position, and the Lynx expose it. Touchdown Lynx, and the extra point is good from number 48, Haas. 33-6, 11:53 to go. And this 11 AAA matchup as the Lynx are trying to move to 3-2 on the season.
Yeah, and right now that's kind of important. Lincoln is the other team that's 3-2 heading into the weekend, and right now they're behind O'Gorman, and that could help in the standings. If we could pick up, play good the rest of this particular quarter, and come away with the victory here, that's going to help with the standings for the rest of the year. So
last update, 14-7, O'Gorman over Lincoln. Bob was just pointing it out. that could move the Lynx into a tie with Lincoln there, as if Lincoln loses to O'Gorman.
So, yeah, it looks like we're getting ready to go. Now time for the defense to step up and get a stop here and kind of take away some hope from the Stevens Raiders.
So Haas is going to be on to kick. The left-footed kicker, he has been tremendous all year, pinning teams back on special teams on the kickoff. He's really made the point of putting it in the end zone on touchbacks, and he's going to do it again on that kick. So that's where the Rapid City Stevens Raiders are going to start with the ball at the 20-yard line, moving left to right. 33-6, Lynx over the Raiders.
All right, now the defense needs to come out and keep an eye on number 11 and number 7. See if they can bottle those guys up, and let's take this baby home.
It's going to be a shotgun formation for Jensen. He's going to have Wotton Wise with him, number 35 to his left. He's going to motion his receiver, number 1 Morgan, to the left. As Jensen looks, finds Scott over the middle, number 7, his wide receiver. First down and more, a gain of about 18.
Yeah, it looks like we had Gunnar Swift on the coverage there, but he found a seam in the defense. So he kind of went out there, kind of sat down in that pocket that it was open, and had a good pass by the quarterback.
In my guess, Coach Christensen and the defensive staff, they're not going to bring a lot of heat. They're going to sit back in the zone, making sure that the home run ball is not there. Jensen out of the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers to his right and left, but I believe that's going to be a false start by the Raiders. And really what stalled the Raiders, besides the Lynx' great defense, is these penalties by the Raiders offense, Bob.
Yeah, they have. They're just not playing clean football, and again, you're just putting your own pressure on your own self when you can't just get off the ball without a false start.
First down and 15, and from about the 32-yard line. Shotgun formation for Jensen. Drops back. He's going to find Scott again. It's going to bring it to the original line of scrimmage. Gain of 5 yards. Brings up a second down and 10 from the 38.
Yeah, they did a good job. Again, they don't want to get behind them and let the big home run balls go. If Stevens can march it down the field and do 5-yard plays in a cloud of dust and get a touchdown, I think the team's going to be happy with that because it's going to burn a lot of clock.
Shotgun formation for Jensen. Steps back. Gets a block from Wolzenweights. He picks it up. He scampers all the way up to about the, looks like, 48, 49-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 5 yards. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5.
You know, that's all the quarterback had right there. The receivers were covered. He was getting pressure up the field, and he had to break it off and run. He got some positive yards, though.
And that's one thing Jensen can do. We talked about that in the pregame. He can run the ball, and that's what he did there. He picked up 5 yards. 3rd down for the Lynx defense here as they're trying to stop this momentum from the Raiders. 3 receivers to his right. That's Jensen at quarterback. Moves Scott to his left in motion. They find Scott for the 3rd time. No, it's going to be overthrown by Jensen. He does not like it as he goes down to his knees and squats there and says, I just overthrew that. Wide open with Scott.
Yeah, he was.
So 4th down and 5, and the Raiders are going to go for it as the Lynx defense is going to try to flip field position here for their offense. Jensen comes from the sideline, breaks the huddle. 3 receivers to his right, 1 to his left. As Misman, his wide receiver, with the first score of the game and the only score of the game for the Raiders in the first quarter. He goes to him, finds him. It's going to be complete. That's going to be number 11, Meisman, on your far side of your screen on the top side. It's going to be a first down across the 50 for the Raiders. No huddle offense for the Raiders as he has. That's Jensen at quarterback. Wolzenweights, he's going to be in the backfield with him. 2 receivers to his right. He scrambles to his left. Heavy pressure by number 56 for the Lynx as he's going to break a lot of tackles. He's going to pick up a first down and more as he had heavy pressure. And we're going to barely breathe here, Bob, as the Raiders are going to go no huddle. 3 receivers, and I think we're going to get a timeout on the field as it looks like number 30 for the Lynx, Bortnam, the outside linebacker for the Lynx, is going to go down as...
Actually, it might be number 90.
Is it number 90, Parliament?
I think it is.
Well, we're going to see who has better vision here. I mean, you do have binoculars, so you better have better vision than I do. Boy, you're right. Holy cow.
Now, the difference is that Parliament is about 6'5".
That's true. That's true.
So a little taller than the other gentleman that we were talking about there. So.
And Parliament, thank goodness he gets off the field and looks like he's all right. Maybe a little stinger, as they say, in the shoulder, but it looks like he's going to be okay. First down and 10 for the Raiders from the 37-yard line. Jensen gives it to his running back, Wotan Weiss, and he's going to gain about 4 yards, and it's going to bring up a second down and 6. They're going to say 3 yards, so second down and 7.
That was a nice run by Watanowitz, and so they got a good 3-4 yards there. So, again, the defense is not doing anything fancy. They're just trying to make them burn a bunch of clock and make them earn it. No big hitters.
2 receivers to Jensen's left, to his right. Pistol formation. As he has an up back also. He's going to give it Wotanowitz. You said Whites, I say Wits. That's kind of, kind of a rhythm there. You say Whites, I say Wits. Anyways, I'm trying to breathe up here. This fast offense.
It's a fast offense, is absolutely right.
No huddle. Jensen drops back. He's going to find number 1. That's going to be Morgan. He's going to break up the field. He breaks a tackle as number 23. That's going to be the corner for the Lynx. Briest missed the tackle, but number 4 comes on. Vandenberg from his defensive end position and makes the tackle. That's going to be a first down, Raiders, from the 18 as they go into the red zone.
They've been giving them a lot of space on the receiving or on the out receivers. They need to tighten that up a little bit. It's just too easy of a pass.
Jensen looking at the defense. He's got the option. End around to Scott, and he's got the whole defense fooled. Gets a big block from Morgan, and he's going to be down at the 1. I thought he scored, but they're gonna put him down at the 1. Great play by the Raiders. They pick up 17 yards. First down and goal from the 1. Rapid City Stevens Raiders.
Yeah, they were taking advantage of the aggressiveness of the pursuit on defense and did the end around.
First and goal for Jensen in the offense. Wotan Whites. I didn't say Wits.
Watanowitz.
Option. Jensen keeps it. Touchdown, Raiders. Just a simple play for Jensen. We know he can run from the quarterback position. Sits in the pistol. Had an option play to the left. He kept it. Went and got the 1 yard. Makes it a 33-12 ball game.
Looks like they're going to go for 2.
As the Raiders, like Bob just said, the Raiders are going to go for 2. As Jensen's going to call out signals to his offense. He's got 2 receivers to his right and 2 to his left. Looks to his wide receiver, number 11, Misman, and the conversion is good. So it's now 33-14 with 6:43 to go in this matchup.
You know, they just made them march down the field. They kind of played looser coverage than I would liked. But, again, they used probably 4.5 to 5 minutes off of the clock to get their touchdown. So it's time for the offense to chew up the rest of this, and we can go home.
That's true. So tell me again. Number 35, running back.
Yep. Tell you what.
How are you pronouncing his name now?
I'm pronouncing it correctly, kid. It's Watanowitz.
Sorry, folks in Rapid City, if you're watching this ball game. Wotanowitz. is your very, very good running back, number 35. So, Wo Tan Owiz.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Bob, for correcting me.
I'm not trying to correct you. I'm just trying to say that.
You're doing a great job.
Hey, we're just out here to have a good time and tell the folks what we're seeing on the field.
So the Lynx have to be prepared, as they're going to put about 9 guys up within about 10 yards of the 50-yard line, as they're expecting this onside kick by Messmer, number 31.
I think they should get a penalty for setting it up where it's got to fall off the tee, Ken.
Think so?
I think so.
Well, that would prolong games, Bob. I mean, why would they want to do that?
Because it would give our team a little better field position.
Oh, okay. It wouldn't allow. Would it allow them to still do the onside kick if you created that rule?
Well, it might.
Oh, okay.
But
well, there can't be might. It's got to be concrete.
oh no, it definitely it definitely would.
Okay.
They still got to kick the ball 10 yards, and they still got to be able to grab that ball after the 10 yards.
Messmer on to kick. It looks like he's going to try an onside. No, he's going to fake it to the left and goes back to the right. And it looks like the Lynx have it, but the ball's loose. We're going to see who has it here. Coach Christensen, I think.
Looks like a rugby scum.
Look too pleased, as
Both sides are pointing their finger.
it's going to be Lynx football as they recover that onside kick. And now the Lynx offense needs to come out here, establish the run, and make sure they drain that clock. We're going to have a new quarterback on for the Lynx. That's going to be number 3, and that's going to be
Jack Thuey.
Jack Thuey, the 6'1", 170-pound junior quarterback for the Lynx. Thuey's going to give to Gray. Gray's going to go up the middle. That's number 27 for the Lynx, and he's going to be stuffed and pushed back, but they're going to say the original forward progress is going to bring him all the way across the 50 with a gain of about 2 yards.
You know, they had it through the line, and he just did a good job of hard running through there, hit the hole, take what you can get. More importantly, to keep the clock going.
Thuey with Gray right next to him to his left. He's got 2 receivers to his left also, 1 to his right. He's going to give it to Gray again. Gray scampers up the middle, breaks another tackle. He's going to keep on spinning as that offensive line helped him. They were pushing Gray for extra yards, and that's going to be a gain of about 5 yards. Brings up a 3rd down and 2 from the 43-yard line.
You know, for anybody out there watching, if you're a youngster watching, watch Gray how he runs. He never lets his feet stop moving and stop pushing forward. That's how you get those extra yards in there.
And help from about 3 offensive linemen coming from behind you and pushing that pile.
That does help too.
3rd down and 2 from the 43-yard line, under 5:15 to go in this matchup. Thuey looks to his receiver. He's going to find number 11. That's going to be Alpers. And Alpers, I think, is going to have the first down. We'll see. They're going to move the chains. Thuey to Alpers for Thuey's first completion of the game. Alpers' first catch of the game. First down, Lynx from the 41-yard line.
You know, that was a nice up and out, a very safe throw. Got good hands on the ball, and then made sure that they got that first down, past that first down marker.
First down, Lynx, as the play clock is sitting at about 10 seconds. Thuey's going to have to hurry up. He's got Gray right to his left out of the shotgun formation. 1 receiver to his left. He's going to give it to Gray. Heavy pressure, and they meet him in the backfield. It's going to be a loss of about 2 yards, as it's going to bring up a 2nd down and 12. But the most important part is I'm looking at the scoreboard here to my right, and it's still running. The clock is still running. We're at about 4 minutes to go in this ball game.
You know, the Stevens defensive line right now is getting some penetration on the folks that we have in there for Brandon, and they just need to keep pushing forward and getting some yards, but more importantly, keeping that clock going.
Second down and 12 for Thuy and Gray in the backfield. Thuy drops back. He's going to try a deep pass. Beautiful pass to, it looks like number 81. Am I correct? Singletary?
It looks like it, Ken. Your eyes aren't too bad for an old guy.
Boy. And you have binoculars. I mean, that was way far. That's probably 3 miles away from us.
Leave the math and that kind of stuff to me, Ken.
All right. Well, you came up with 3,271. That's approximate with the fans across the way, too.
Prove me wrong.
Exactly.
Prove me wrong.
Down in 12 for the Lynx from the 43-yard line. Thuey's going to look to Gray. No, he's going to cut back. He's going to find his receiver, number 81. The attempt to Singletary again. He is tripped up. We'll just say he tripped up and fell. It's going to be incomplete. Surprisingly, though, I won't even say it.
I was going to give the tackle to that guy on that one, but they didn't catch the ball. But there was definitely a tackle.
Fourth down and 12. Lynx are going to go for it. Thuy in the backfield along with Gray. He's got one receiver to his left, two to his right. Thuy can punt also, and he does punt it. Beautiful punt, and it's going to be a touchback, as it was a beautiful punt by Thuy and buried it all the way down to the 1 yard line. Momentum took our Lynx player and went into the end zone. And the Raiders are going to start with the ball moving left to right on your screen from the 20-yard line.
Yep, now the defense, I know we've got some new bodies in there, and as we come across them on tackles, we'll be sure to get those out there so you can kind of understand who's getting some tackles from some folks that don't normally necessarily get into the game here.
Jensen out of the shotgun with his running back to his left. He's going to roll to his left. He finds number 11, Meisman. He's going to cover the field. He's going to gain a first down and more. Gain about 12 yards, first down and 10 from the 32-yard line.
Austin Brummels knocked him out on that particular play. That was enough for a first down here for Stevens. He was kind of wide open, but they was able to knock him out before he gained too much.
Clock stops with the movement of chains. 3:14 to go in this matchup. Both teams 2-2. Lynx looking to move to 3-2 on the season. 33-14. Jensen steps back, rolls left, finds Meisman again. Minimal gain, about 2 to 3 yards. That's going to bring up a second down, but that's going to stop the clock again as he's out of bounds. 3:07 to go.
Tristan Neuenhuis on the tackle.
Neuenhuis on the tackle as the Lynx defense comes to play. They've given up 14 points in this ball game. Jensen scrambles, goes to his left, breaks it up the middle. He gains a first down, slides actually at about the 37-yard line. That's going to move the chains and stop that clock again. 2:51 to go. Now they're going to wind the clock as the chains move and reset. 2:45 to go in this ball game. Jensen out of the shotgun, two receivers to his right and left. He's going to drop back, heavy pressure, finds Meisman. Meisman cuts up above about the hash there on the left-hand side. He's going to cross the 50. It's going to bring up a second down and 1.
Gabe Severin on the tackle.
Shotgun formation for Jensen, rolls right. He's going to look for Morgan. No, he doesn't find him. Heavy pressure as the Lynx just miss him. Jensen's going to throw it out of bounds and live to play another play. And 2:07 to go in this ball game. It's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Raiders offense.
That was just excellent downfield coverage. making the quarterback scramble and scramble and scramble. Finally, he says, hey, I just got to throw it out of bounds before we lose all the yardage.
3rd and 1 from the 48-yard line, 2:07 to go in this ball game. Lynx up 33-14 over the Raiders. Both teams 2-2. Lynx moving to 3-2, hopefully on the season. Gives it to the running back, number 35. They're going to gain a first down and more, as it's going to be about a 3 to 4 yard Wotanowicz on the first down.
Braden Klein on the tackle.
Braden Klein on the tackle. Shotgun formation for Jensen. 2 receivers to his right and 2 to his left out of the spread formation that we've seen all night. He's going to go up top to Meisman. Touchdown, Raiders. That's going to be his second touchdown of the game. Lynx staff wants a offensive pass interference. Coach Christensen does not like it, but that's going to put it to a 2-score game, 33-20.
Yeah, he did kind of create some separation there right at the end of that particular play.
2-point conversion for the Raiders. Jensen out of the spread formation. Looks to Meisman again. No, he's going to keep it. He's going to be sacked by, it looks like, we'll get a number for you here, 45.
Sam Knowles. Or Knowles, excuse me.
Sam Knowles from the defensive end position picks up a big sack on that 2-point conversion. It is no good. It is a 2-score game. Lynx up by 13, 33-20.
You know, some will say, well, why'd they let them score? But I tell you what, they're getting some valuable reps for some of these folks that aren't necessarily in the normal rotation, because you never know when you're going to need those folks in a live competitive game, and it's tough to have that be your first action. So these are valuable minutes.
Right. The first things first, Bob, though, they need to get this onside kick. They need to recover it, because you do not want to give any opportunity to the Raiders offense here. There's still 1:35 to go. I believe the Raiders only have 1 timeout, though.
Yep, that's going to be, like I said, I'm pretty certain that they've probably got the all-hands team in right now for the Lynx. Last time they tried to kick this direction, and they came back and they kicked it in our direction, and it was pretty close, but we managed to recover that onside kick.
Messmer's on to kick for the Raiders. He's looking to do an onside kick. Lynx are ready. And here comes that onside kick again. And number 23 is going to cover it for the Lynx. That's going to be one of the corners.
Caleb Breest.
Caleb Breest for the Lynx. And that's going to be Lynx ball. And that should do it, as the Lynx can just kneel it down here and drain that clock with 1:32 to go.
Yeah, he did something pretty smart there. He's well coached in the fact that you don't want to try to pick it up and run it for a touchdown. You just want to maintain your possession, get the ball down, and make them use any timeouts that they have and burn off the clock for this win.
We're going to go over your Lynx TV sponsors here. Your Lynx Platinum sponsors are Alliance Communications, Coca-Cola Bottling, Midco Communications, Sanford Health, and Sioux Valley Energy. As Thuy is going to give to Gray there, and there's going to be no timeout on the field, so we'll see what they do here. 1:20 to go. Lynx anchor sponsors are Avera Medical Group and McGreevy here in Brandon, First Dakota National Bank, Sanford Brandon Family Medicine and Children's Clinic, the Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Lynx founding sponsors are Alliance Communications, American Family Insurance Josh Koob Agency, Brandon Ace Hardware, the Brandon Lumber Company. And we have a botched snap. It goes over Thuy's head with 40 seconds to go. Now you're going to be able to just kneel it down, I believe, Bob. And Brandon Pharmacy, the Heartland Funeral Home, Sunshine Food Store, in today's Family Dentistry. Lynx Pride sponsors are Architecture Incorporated, Brandon Plumbing and Heating, Burin and Gruning Heating and Air Conditioning, First Interstate Bank, Hinkle Electronic Materials LLC, Horizon Pet Care, McDonald's, and Michael's Fence. So that will do it as your Lynx come into this homecoming game, the 2022 homecoming game, and they come out victorious over the Rapid City Central Raiders 33-20. Your Lynx move up to 3-2 on the season. Next week, the Peer Governors are back here on a Friday evening.
They are. They're ranked number 1 in the AA rankings, coming off of a 5 straight state championship run. So it's going to be a formidable opponent, and they got a week to prepare, and they better prepare for some passing because their quarterback is got a full ride scholarship to Washington University.
Oh, really?
For football.
So the Lynx come out victorious 33-20 on this 2022 homecoming, and this beautiful evening on a September evening night. It's cool and crisp, and it's just football weather, Bob, and I love it. So TF Riggs comes in, and they are going to look to knock off a AAA team. And you talked about their quarterback's pretty special. The Lynx need to be prepared. They
do. I tell you what, Ken, it was last week that another AA team in T went in and knocked off a AAA O'Gorman, 44-42.
That is a good point. So don't count out the team that's coming in here, the AA team, because they are a very good team, ranked number 1 in 11 AA. So the Lynx moved to 3-2 on the season with a great victory as the offense really scored at a high rate. We've seen them, the offense and Coach Zur throttle it back a little bit as they wanted to drain that clock here in the last quarter-ish, really establish that run. And that's what they did coming out of halftime, out of the locker room. They really established that run. We know that they can hit the home run. That's going to keep the safeties up top and have to play back and not support the run. Well, the Lynx offense just countered that and started running the ball.
Just jammed it down their throat. Also, Stevens has got a tough game. They get to play a Sioux Falls Lincoln team next week. They get to play them at home for their homecoming. And so that ought to be an interesting game to see how those two teams stack up.
Well, Bob, it's been a great evening. We talked about going into last Friday's game. The Lynx in this middle of the season need to go 3-0 in these games, okay? Taking care of Roosevelt, taking care of Stevens, and now they need to next week take care of Pierre because you're at home all 3 of these games, and this can catapult you into beyond the middle of the season into the playoffs, and this is where we're at right now. And right now they're 2-0 on that three-game little series that they have going on right now.
Yep, and they again, all games are big, but taking care